This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and I am truly excited to bring you a next evolution of shoe technology. So obviously we have one shoe that is going to be taking the cake here. I just wanted to do a quick history on shoes that have really changed and moved the bar in technology. So the first shoe, this came out in 2007, and I believe they had 2 generations of it, was the Adidas Dlx. This shoe, and many of y'all may not even know about this or heard about it. You can kind of take a look here, kind of zoom in. You have a plus and minus button. I know Nike's trying to come out with their Hyper Adapt where it tightens the lace. This actually adjusted the cushioning based on your running style, and would adjust the cushioning every, what, 100th of a second, something like that. So similar to kind of the shocks they have in cars nowadays. So when you land, it would soften or firm up as needed. This is still dead stock. I have not worn this, so I can't give you an actual review on how it worked. A lot of people did like it, and they said because of the mechanism, you can kind of see the motor in here, that they were prone for the motors to break down and have issues because you're literally talking about moving parts. You can kind of see some of the shaft in the middle here where that would tighten and loosen, which would soften or firm up the cushioning in the heel here. And you have your Adiprene Plus in the forefoot, but this shoe was next generation. There really hasn't been a shoe like this, and Adidas has definitely been trying to up the level of cushion and how cushion affects the foot. And that takes us to our next shoe, the Springblade. This came out 6 years later in 2013. This was the first generation. Since then, they've probably had 3-4 issues of this, constantly modifying it, changing the angles, changing the density of the actual plastic springs. This was the first shoe after my Achilles injury I was able to walk in and go for a slow jog. If you watch some of my other videos, the Jordan 28 was the first shoe I was able to run in. So this shoe always has a special place in my heart. Now when I actually was able to start running, just didn't hold up. I'm a 4-foot runner, so with this shoe you really have to be a heel striker, which I highly recommend against. Learn how to run properly and prevent injury, but it just shows what Adidas really did to push the envelope. The next one up, and we're almost to what the really point of this video is your Nike Lunar 1 TR1 Nike Plus. This was the first shoe in generation debuting Nike Plus, where this shoe actually had sensors in the heel, multiple in the forefoot, where this actually gave you telemetrics or analytics on how hard you were landing, how high you were jumping, how fast you were moving. This shoe was definitely ahead of its time, one of the first shoes to use Lunar lawn. And it's funny, in 2016, Under Armour, which we're getting to next, came out with their Gemini 2 that has a lot of the similar features. Now, they take it up a bar, whereas this you actually had to take out the microprocessor and charge the battery, and it would only last so long. The Under Armour promises that the battery will last the life of the shoe, if not longer, as well as measure the wear of the shoe. So I haven't tried out the Under Armour yet, mostly because I already have the Gemini 1, and Nike ended up dropping this technology after only 2 years. So I really hope Under Armour is able to keep that going, and based on what they have next, I think they will. Now, I don't normally do this, but it is a sick box, so I'm going to be doing a quick unboxing. Let's get into it. The Under Armour Architech, obviously spelled a little bit differently with the T-E-C-H. This is the first 3D printed shoe on the market. They made 96 of them, and we'll kind of get the unboxing here. They were $300, so a little bit expensive. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on a pair, and just the boxing alone, you really feel like you're getting something special. And let's open these bad boys up. The Under Armour Architect. Now, what makes these so special is not the engineering that went behind it, the 3D modeling, but what this shoe is potentially capable of. So I know Gizmodo tried to do a special on it, and they're into tech. They have a really good stuff. They didn't know what they were testing. They didn't even know what they were looking at. I know Wear Testers got a couple of these pairs, and they haven't done a review yet. I will be doing a full review, but this is really just a quick look-see at the shoe and for me to explain to you why this is next level, and I hope Under Armour can take it up a notch. So first, getting into it, this heel area is what's 3D printed. It uses tendrils, which make possible that no other shoe can do, is the fact that it's going to give you the stability to be used for actual weightlifting, whether you're doing Olympic lifts, if you're in CrossFit, whether you're doing squats. You have that solid platform, but at the same time, it actually has some give. And what I mean by that is, if you're running, this has a full charge cushioning going through the forefoot. And I don't know if it goes all the way to the heel, but in the heel, you can see the charge there. As you press down on this, there's a little bit of give, and then it's completely supportive. You can do your weights in this, it backs you up. This is the first shoe out of anything out there. You can't use the Nike Remolios. You can't use the Adidas with the Adi Power they have. You can't use the Reebok, the Lifter 2.0, the 1.0 for anything but really lifting. Now the Reebok Lifter 1.0 actually is going to be the closest model to it. And what makes this model even remotely similar, which really it's not, is the heel area. Even though it has a lot of support in the plastic here, this is just a very dense rubber. So it does have, I mean, the slightest amount of cushioning where potentially you could run in this for some of the CrossFit games. That's what they did. But there's no cushioning in the forefoot. And that, if you want to call it cushioning, it's really a reach. And the Reebok Lifter 2.0, they really just made that completely hardened, so it gives you that stability you need. Now back to the Architect. This shoe is a shoe that you can lift in, you can train in, you can run in, you can do a variety of workouts, and you're covered. The traction is really just a multi-directional, hard traction, unlike a lot of lifting shoes which are just flat. But if you notice, you have a completely flat base. So whether you're doing any kind of cross training, this thing is stupid good. And on top of all that, they used a full clutch fit upper that's breathable, unlike the basketball versions. So you have a shoe that's breathable. You have a shoe that completely gives you full containment and support. And I'm not talking about support not in the upper, but also during any lifts or anything you might do. I don't know if you can tell, I am super excited about what the shoe is capable of. I will be doing quite a few workouts in this, and I will be able to do a full update on how good it is. My goal is that there's not only 96 individuals out there, most of which are just going to collect. This is going to sit on their shelves. I'm going to be using this, but that Under Armour is able to take this to the market, because this can rule CrossFit, this can rule any kind of shoes you go to the gym in, and this is next level and game changing, just as all these shoes were back in the day and what the shoe industry has done moving forward. So I'm thankful to have these. Under Armour, you guys knocked it out of the park in this, and with that Gemini 2, I hope you continue pushing that forward with their health box and what they're doing in that digital side. It really is game changing. Check out some of our other videos where we did kind of do the evolution of Under Armour through the years. We'll have a link to some of the shoes that you may be able to get, such as the later edition TR2s, the Springblades, and some of the other clutch fit trainers, because they do have their Trainer Ultimate. That's a very good shoe. Not on this level, but we'll have those in the description. Please like, subscribe, comment, guys. We really appreciate you. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears. We really appreciate you guys, and we'll come at you later.